I know one of the most frustrating things as a reader, and I'm saying this as myself, is that when you get to a word and you're just stuck, you have no idea what it is, and the sound it out strategy is the only one you can think of. I want to tell you, my class, you know this for sure. We have so many strategies that we can use when we get to a challenging word. You do not have to give up. We have all these strategies up here that we've learned through phonics to help us, but I'm going to give you one more strategy that's going to help you every time you read a book, okay? Or anytime you read anything. Today, as readers, we're going to be talking about juggling. Now, I am not the best juggler because I get very distracted and I can't really do more than one thing at one time. So I can juggle 2 balls, like that's so easy, right? 3 balls, more than that, no. So as a reader, we have to juggle 3 balls, and we're going to talk about what those 3 balls are today. So we have to be able to juggle all 3 balls as a reader. If you're in my class, you know what these 3 balls are because I've taught them to you before. But if you're not in my class, this is your opportunity to learn the best strategy I was ever taught as a reader. Here are 3 balls. As a reader, when we come to a challenging word, we need to think, does it look right? Does the word look like how I'm saying it? Does it sound right? Am I saying the sounds correctly? Does it make sense? Does this word that I'm pronouncing, that I'm saying, does it make sense with what's going on in the book? Does it make sense with what the sentence is saying? So as a reader, we don't want to just sound it out and be like, oh, can't figure it out, on to the next. We need to make sure that we can use this strategy and ask ourselves these 3 questions when we come to a challenging word and we're trying to figure it out. Does it look right? Does it sound right? And does it make sense? I'm going to show you how I use this strategy right now with an amazing book called The Word Collector. So I'm going to put this strategy up here. And you know what? I would even suggest you making a poster of this strategy to help remind you to use it during the summer and even during 3rd grade or whatever grade you are in. And it's just such a great strategy. It's really going to help you. And I'm so excited for you to use it. So this is The Word Collector by Peter Reynolds. And I love him as an author. If you've read any of his books before, they're amazing. And we're going to be reading this one just a little bit today. Collectors collect things. Some people collect stamps. Some people collect coins. Others collect rocks. Some collect art. Some collect bugs. Others collect baseball cards. Some people collect comic books. And Jerome, what did he collect? Jerome collected words. This word right here is wonder. He collected words he heard. My trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. I'm going to stop myself right there. And maybe if you were in my classroom or you would hear, you would tell me to stop because something just didn't sound right. My trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. Have you heard anybody say the word pleasant before? I haven't either. So I feel like I'm going to need to dive into this word right here. Now, I need to juggle all 3 balls. I need to make sure that this word looks right, that it sounds right, and that it makes sense, okay? So let's start with looks right. It's got the P-L, E-A, that's a vowel team. Ant, pleasant. It looks like that word, right? It's got the first letter that I'm saying. It's long enough. It looks right. It looks like it has all the letters that I'm saying. Does it sound right? Am I saying the sounds of the letters correctly? P-L, pull. EA is a vowel team. E, S, ant. Yeah, I'm saying those vowel sounds, right? Yeah? Doesn't make sense. My trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. That doesn't really sound like you would say that. Now, another part for sound, does it sound right, is we need to think about like what kind of word is gonna go here. Is it gonna be the name of a person? My trip to Peru was perfectly, and then the name of a person here? No. Is it gonna be like a verb, like something that we do? My trip to Peru was perfectly like going. This doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna put a verb there. I'm not gonna put something that I do. It sounds like it's gonna be an adjective, which is a way to describe a word. So I need to think of ways that this character is gonna be describing their trip. Well, my trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. What would make sense? Like, what words sound similar to that would go there? Pleasant, please. Not please, pleas. Wonder if I can change the vowel sounds a little bit to make that E say the short E sound. Pleasant, pleasant, pleasant. I know what that word is. Pleasant means good. Like it was fine. It was great. My trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. Does that make sense? Yes. Does it look right? Pleasant. That looks right. And does it sound right? My trip was perfectly pleasant. Sounds great. So readers, I can't let you go end this year without knowing this strategy. That as a reader, we have to juggle 3 balls. When we're reading and we come to a challenging word that we might not know, or even as we're reading, we constantly need to be thinking, does it look right? Does it sound right? Does it make sense? Sometimes I hear kids reading and it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, whoa. Are you even listening to yourself? What are you saying? Because that doesn't make sense at all. It's like I could be saying the purple balloon was flying in the air with an airplane. Do you see any of that on this page? I don't. So that's when you know that it does not make sense. So as readers, we need to be asking ourselves, anytime we're reading, does it look right? Does it sound right? Does it make sense? We can use those strategies to help us figure out challenging words, or the million other strategies that we've learned this year. Or we can just use that as we're reading to monitor and to check with ourselves to make sure we're reading the words correctly. Friends, I just couldn't let you go into summer without knowing this strategy, that readers juggle all 3 balls. And to ask yourselves as you're reading, does it look right? Does it sound right? And does it make sense? Make a poster of this strategy. Remember it for the rest of your life. This is a lifelong strategy that's going to help you as readers. And I just hope that it will help you. Have fun, friends.